G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good. Perler of a day.
Oh, bloody oath. The Servo's a ripper.
Want a cuppa?
Yeah, nah, she'll be right.
Want a frothy?
Oh, shit, yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Andy, and if you're new round here, I'll just let you know that normally my videos are about how to make money with side hustles in Australia. But I went through the analytics and I realised that a lot of the audience, like myself, are not originally from Australia. So I thought it'd be useful if I just went over some of the Australian phrases and dialect that you're likely to hear while you're working in Australia. And I'll just let you know what some of them mean so that hopefully you don't end up in a situation where you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? So these are words and phrases that you won't find in any textbook. You won't find them in any English language class. And I just want to say up front that this is coming from a place of love. Like, I love the Australian language. I love all its quirks. I love the culture here. I love being here. And this is, yeah, it's coming from a place of love. This is not me taking the piss. I'm British, so I'm full aware that I don't even talk properly and I don't even pronounce half my words properly. I sound like an idiot. So with that being said, even though English is my first language and even though I've been in Australia for over 10 years now, I still find myself, even to this day, I'll hear something and be like, what does that mean? So strap in and I'll break it down for you. And after you've watched this video, you'll be less likely to find yourself in a situation where you just don't know what someone's talking about. Let's go. So I'll break it down into beginner, intermediate and advanced slang. The first beginner word is mate. You've probably noticed before, probably upon arriving at the airport, everyone was mate. It basically means, yeah, friend. It's just a friendly thing that you can add on to the end of any sentence. You say, all right, mate. G'day, mate. You can say it to a complete stranger. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily friends and you've got to swap numbers and hang out together every weekend. It's just a nice way of being friendly. Mateship is an important part of Australian culture where, like, your close mates are like your family, like most cultures, to be honest. So, yeah, mate, call someone your mate. You're already on your way to being fairly Australian if you're just dropping that to people. Cheers, mate. See you, mate. There you go. G'day basically means hello. You know, it probably comes from good day, as in like, yeah, good afternoon, good day. G'day, say g'day to someone. I don't really say it myself, but you can do if you want to sound Australian. Combine it with mate. G'day, mate. It's a bit cliche. Again, well, I wouldn't say it, but there you go. That's what that means. Ripper's a good one. If you really want to go full on, you can go rip snorter. Basically means, oh, that's really good. For example, if someone played a amazing cricket shot, boom, oh, what a ripper. Yeah, you know, like that. Or I had a ripper of a day, like if you were out at work and you made heaps of money that day and had a real successful day, ripper of a day. Arvo, that means afternoon. What are you doing the Servo? Yesterday Arvo, we went to the Servo. Yesterday afternoon we went to the service station. How you travelling? Now, this tripped me up big time when I first arrived here. It's basically means how you going. Or how are you doing, yeah? How you travelling? You can also say how you tracking, but how you travelling? Yeah, I remember I started here and then, like, within my first couple of weeks in Australia, I was temping in some office and someone come up to me and went, how you travelling? And I was like, what? To work, I got the tram. And they were like, what? And they basically meant how you going. Snag, this is a good one, means sausage. Snags are an important part of Australian culture. If you go to Bunnings, for example, the best thing about going to Bunnings, it's basically a hardware store. Out the front, they always sell cooked snags. It's called a sausage sizzle, but thinking about it now, I don't know why they don't call it a snag sizzle, because the sausage is a snag, and it's a sausage sizzle. Why is it not a snag sizzle? Cuppa, cup of tea, there you go. I'm really into me cups of tea. Happy with that one. Frothy. This basically means beer, I guess, because beers have froth, a couple of frothies. Like, yeah, you can also say cans, couple of tinnies. So yeah, well, mate, I had a few frothies. I was going to work later, but I accidentally had a few frothies this morning. Don't know about that. The Arvo, that's all right. Servo, I think I already said this earlier, basically means service station, aka petrol station. That's all you need to know. Bush. Now, before you start guessing what that means, it's just a way of describing like the rural parts of Australia. Like, oh yeah, out in the bush. It means, yeah, not the cities, not even like the outer cities. It's like bush, like think fields with bushes in them. That's probably the best way to remember it. So now let's move on to the intermediate ones. These ones can be a bit tricky to get your head round, but once you sort of know about them, then they do kind of make sense. First up, milk bar. Now, it's not as the name sounds. It's not like a pub which exclusively sells milk. It's actually just basically a shop, like a corner shop or an off license. I think because back in the day they used to just like, that's where you get your milk from, so it's called a milk bar. Yeah. Next is bloody oath. That's a good one. That's one of my favourites. Basically means like I agree, but like, oh, I really agree. Like, oh, bloody oath. Like, milk bars, they should just be called shops. Oh, bloody oath. No, that's a bad example. Frothies. I love frothies. Do you like frothies? Yeah, bloody oath. Get a wriggle on. This is another good one. It basically means just like hurry up. Like, oh, the servo's about to close. We should get a wriggle on. Fair dinkum is probably my favourite one of all time. You won't hear it so much in the cities, but if you go out to like the bush especially, but even like, yeah, the slightly more rural parts of Australia, you'll hear fair dinkum. When you hear it for the first time, oh, it's a ripper. It basically means like true, or like honest, like, yeah, he's a fair dinkum bloke. Like if you're travelling through Australia in the bush and your car breaks down and you said, oh mate, do you know a mechanic? Oh yeah, go see him. He's a real fair dinkum guy. Like he's a good, honest bloke. You can also say it like if someone's telling you a story that's quite unbelievable, they'll be like, no, so I was doing this and then fair dinkum, this happened. So that's always good. Yeah, fair dinkum, look out for that one. That's like, it's a rare one to hear, but when you hear it, oh, beautiful. She'll be right. So this is a bit of a weird one, especially if English isn't your first language, because learning pronouns like he, she, it, all that is a tricky part of learning any new language. She'll be right is not actually talking about a female most of the time. It basically means like the situation will be right. So I did farm work once and I used to like build fences for farmers. And sometimes you'd build a fence which wasn't very good and you'd tell the farmer like, oh, have a look at this one, I'm not sure about this one. And he'd go, ah, she'll be right. And you go, yeah, all right, fair enough. Full on. This basically means like hectic. So you can have a full on day at work. It could also mean if you're entering the dating scene like you young whippersnappers are, it can be like, when you're just like messaging your interest all the time, you're a bit too full on. Yeah. But I think mainly, yeah, you'd use it, oh, how's work? Oh, full on. I've had a full on week. A feed. I wasn't really into this word at first, but it's growing on me. It basically means like a meal. So it's a bit of a weird one because it's pretty bad English. But then, like I said, who am I to talk? Because my English is terrible. But a feed, you can say, oh, let's go get a feed. It means like, oh, let's go and get some food. Yeah. There you go. Bingle. Hopefully you don't have one of these. Basically means like a bit of a car crash. I don't think you'd say it if you had a serious car crash. I think you'd say it if you had like a bit of like a fender bender where you just like bump into someone. A bit of a bingle. I think I've just been bit by Mozzie. Just before I get onto the advanced Australian slang, if you're enjoying this video or finding it useful in some way, then definitely hit the subscribe video. Usually I do more sort of informative videos about how to make money in Australia, but you know, there's a bit of everything. Guaranteed to be talking nonsense in all of them anyway. So if you're into that, then hit subscribe to see more. Now, the advanced ones, these are tricky. They, even when you sort of do understand them, like I've been here over 10 years and I still don't fully understand these ones. So if you don't get these, don't worry, you'll be forgiven for not understanding these. So anyway, let's give it a go. The first one is yeah, nah, and nah, yeah. So yeah, nah basically means yes, no, and nah, yeah means no, yes. So you can ask someone a question and they'll say yeah, nah, or they'll be like, nah, yeah. But you don't know what they're actually saying, right? Because that's mental. Why have you said yes and no in the what do you actually mean? So I've done a lot of thinking about this and I'm pretty confident that you ignore the first word and only listen to the second word. So yeah, nah actually means nah, and nah, yeah actually means yeah. So if I think this is how it works. So if you say, oh, do you need a lift? And they say, yeah, nah. They mean nah. I hope, because otherwise you've just driven off and left them there and they're like, oh, well, I needed a lift. But let's give an example of the other one, which was nah, yeah. Yeah, same example then. Do you need to lift someone? Nah, yeah. Nah, I can't even get that. Honestly, it's a mess. Yeah, nah is all right. Yeah, nah means nah. So lock that in. Nah, yeah. Nah, yeah also means yeah. I think double check with an actual Australian because I'm not 100% on this one. And next up, this one is a bit of a head twister as well. But, you're like, what? But at the end of the sentence, using the word but at the end of a sentence. So you might hear someone say, my food was cold, it's good, but, and then you're like, but what? Like, what's the rest of the sentence? But it's not, it's yeah, it's good, but, or like, it's cold, but, like, what? And basically it means though. So every time someone says but at the end of a sentence, just think of them saying though. So in that example, my food was cold, but it was good though. Well, I've put but in there. I don't know. Again, a bit of a weird one. These are advanced ones. As you can tell, I don't fully understand them myself. Righto. This is a good one. I do understand this. The reason this is an advanced Australian slang is because there's actually 3 ways of using righto. So righto, basically right-o, in its most simple sense, just means okay. If someone tells you something, gives you a bit of information, righto just means okay. But you can also say it sarcastically, like if someone says, I went and did this, I played football at the weekend and scored 20 goals, you can go, righto, like that. And the third way of saying it is actually to express sort of disappointment or being upset at a situation. Like, say you've turned up at your mate's house and they've already drank all the frothies, you can go, oh, righto. And the last one, this is crazy. After over 10 years of living in Australia, I only heard this a few weeks ago. Someone said to me, they were talking about someone and they said, he was a bit how you going? And I'm like, what? He was a bit how you going? Like, when someone says he was a bit, you're expecting an adjective, not a greeting to follow that. So anyway, I asked my mate about like, what's that mean? And it actually means like a bit weird. Not fully weird, because if someone's fully weird, you'd say, you wouldn't say he was a bit how you going. How you going means he's just a little bit weird. So if you hear someone saying, that was a bit how you going, like that means, the situation was slightly weird. Or if they're talking about a person, she was a bit how you going, she was slightly weird. So there you go. If I've missed any out, drop them in the comments below. Drop your favourite one in the comments below. And check out this video because it's basically another video of me talking absolute nonsense. But I promise by the end of it, you'll have learned something which will make your life at least somewhat better. So until next time, keep enjoying living in this great country that is Australia. And I'll catch you later.